All right, Coach. First and foremost, I guess, just the feeling to be named the interim head coach after all your years here at Radford, helping out Coach Sarabi with the women. Talk about just what it means to have this opportunity.
It means the world, Rick. I mean, this is, I told the boys, and I get a little teary-eyed that this is my dream job, to be able to come and come give back and coach at the school that you played at. Obviously I've been here so long. I've had 3 stints as an assistant coach with the men, and obviously a great run of 10 years with the women with Coach Sarabi. So, I'm a Highlander. I'm a Radford guy through and through, and so to be able to now lead the program is just been really, really special, and I'm really honored, really honored that I was given this opportunity and this responsibility.
And you have heard and felt the excitement from Highlander alums from
Oh
all over
man,
the world,
it's been
right?
great, and aside from getting the job and being out there and running things and being the boss, reconnecting with a lot of old alumni and all these guys that have come back, and the support that I've gotten has just been really, really awesome. And some new guys that I haven't seen and heard from in a while come back. Their usuals are there, and especially now having John White involved, we really span a long period of Radford soccer here. So I think that's really important to both of us, is to get this kind of ownership back in. And as I told the alumni in my first letter, I feel like I've been called to take care of the family business, so to speak. And I brought John, another old brother, back in to help do it as well. So that's been the second best part, aside of being on the field and running things. So.
But talk about that, the addition of John. He was here as a Highlander as well, and you say you guys kind of have a little differing personalities, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, John had a tremendous career as a player. Obviously, he's in the Radford Hall of Fame for a reason. He's been a full-time coach since then, referee. He's got the highest licenses and experience in American soccer. Plus, he's got a Dutch license, who the Dutch are known for their player development and things like that. A real experienced eye, a good guy, and a guy that cares, most importantly. I mean, this is his program too.
Right.
And that's what I want. I want people who care, number one. Obviously, his soccer credentials are the highest level. He and I really, I think, mesh really well. We're kind of different and kind of opposite, but I think that's helped each other. He's definitely helped me in so many ways so far to get going, and the adjustment has been relatively smooth so far, and he's been a big part of that. So.
How much has it helped with the transition, the fact that you've worked with the men's team for several years, right? You're there as the goalkeepers coach, and you're working with these guys to know a lot of these personalities you're going to be inheriting.
Absolutely. I've been with the team for the last 3 years, so I know all the players, even though once, I've been to a lot of games when I could. So, and then in the fall, I was there every day. It was a dual role for both programs, so I was right in there and had a little bit more say and had some more things going on. So from that standpoint, I think it's made it easier, especially for the players' standpoint. You don't have to get used to a new personality. Obviously, I'm a much different role, and I'm a different person. I told them I went from being the good guy, the cop, to the good cop, consistent coach, to being the boss. So it's been, I can't ask anything more from the players. They have really been receptive. They've been respectful. They bought in. They're working hard for me, and mostly for each other. And that's what I'm trying to get. This is about them and their team, and give ownership back to them. And so far, the response has been I've been really pleased with it.
Well, how have the early workouts gone for you overall, with a lot of, outer things you have to consider now in the season being moved to what we are here in the spring? Talk about how everything's kind of coming together as best it can.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, as best it can these days. You just have to be flexible, and that's what I told the boys, and we all have to. We're living in that world now, so I think they're just so happy to be out there playing, and that was really the best part, and I give a lot of credit to the leadership of our university and our athletic department, that even though we couldn't play in the fall, they were out there training and playing the game that they loved as much as they could, and so obviously I was able to see them a good bit, see the new players, how they meshed in. So as soon as I was named coach, I talked to each player individually, and I had a plan. I have a plan going forward. I had a plan as soon as I was given that opportunity, and we'll see if it works, but we got to start with a plan. So I had an idea where everybody fits in. Obviously that's going to evolve. That's the nature of the game, but being a part of it, I think from the player standpoint, it's made for a real easy transition.
Can you give an overview about what excites you the most about the lineup and the talent that you have available?
We got a lot of new guys in there, and not necessarily freshmen, but guys who haven't played and had a ton of experience on the field in the past few years. So they're really hungry to play, and that's kind of where the enthusiasm, that's where the energies come from. Yeah. We have some good leadership and some seniors there, but the new guys, the sophomores, the juniors, have really shown that they believe it's their turn, their time to play, and they're playing well. And we have some young guys that are getting used to how the speed of play and how the system goes, and that will help us as well. So then we have a nice mix there. Not a ton of players, which is kind of good. We've been a smaller, so we're a much more tightly knit group, as usually it's because of various reasons. So I think that's helped the chemistry off the field, which hopefully will carry on to on the field.
You mentioned that. Did you notice maybe a more assertive eagerness to get going from the guys because they've had to wait so long to get their season started?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They're dying to play. And even in the fall, because of COVID and all the different situations, we never even could have a proper full-sided match, So we tried to play every week to get as much as we could, but it was never 11-a-side. So this past weekend we played out here on Cup, which they haven't done in a couple of years. We were able to get an actual proper 11-a-side match. So, it was fun for me just to kind of sit back and just let them go and just experience all the things that a game, you just can't replicate, a true game in training as much as we try to. And as a player, that's what you want. You want to play games, don't you? Practice is practice. So it was fun to see that. And it's really enthused me and keep me going. The energy there is really, really good. I've been pleased with that.
You talked about the personality part of you and John, the coaches, but what are you trying to implement in terms of a style play that fits the way you envision this team?
Right. That's a good question because that evolves. A different coach will have different ideas, and players dictate your style, and I may have one idea, but I may not have the players that do that, But, first and foremost, I wanted them to have the right spirit and the right energy. We're really about positive energy out there and having fun and playing as a group and putting outside life's pressures away and just coming out here and enjoying yourself. And, I think that's where it starts. I believe that good soccer starts in the brain, so if you have a happy brain and you're a happy life, then you're going to play good soccer, and so we're trying to get that done. The guys have already kind of had some on-field chemistry and meshed in terms of positioning and things like that. We were ahead of the game because we had the fall. So I think it's just fine-tuning a lot of things, really going through exactly how we're going to do it. We've been working a lot of our first weeks here defensively. What's our mentality? What is our style of play? And it's evolving. What I think it is right now will probably be different as the season goes on, and hopefully it improves as we go. But it also, it's one of those things that, as a coach in soccer, you want to have an influence, but at the same time, it needs to be free-flowing and organic, so to speak, especially in the attack. So that's, to me, that's how good soccer works. So, we're continuing to get that whole mentality down. That's where, to me, it's got to start with the right mentality. So.
And finally, just speak about the schedule had to be adjusted, obviously, with the amount of matches and so forth. But talk about that as you prepare to get into conference play. Can you know as much about conference play? It's a little bit more of a mystery this year, right?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, we have no preseason matches, so we're kind of jumping right into it, and we play a really, really good Liberty team, first game of the season. We're not going to have really any video or any scouting report, so it's going to be like the old days where you go out there and the players and the coaches kind of have to sort it out a little bit. So from that standpoint, I'm kind of excited about it. The conference is really, really good. I mean, all teams are really, really good now. I mean, the level of play, Division I men's soccer is just every year just seems to get better and better and better. I'm lucky to have been a part of some of these games on the bench to see it firsthand. Obviously, I spent time in the booth with you in the back in the old days. That was a lot of fun. So I got my finger on the pulse of it, so to speak. But there's no substitute for being in the middle of it. The conference, it's going to be tough. Every game it's just hard to win any game. So the old coach taught one game at a time. I'm looking at it. It's a one-game season, and that's how we're going to go about it. And again, I just think the boys are just so happy to go out there and play. So anyone we play against right now, besides ourselves, will be good.